Hello, my name is Alex Holub. I'm the founder and CEO of Vidora. Vidora is a machine learning company, and what we do is we make it really easy for companies to create and build and operationalize machine learning models. We make it easy enough so that anyone in a company, even someone with absolutely no coding experience, can go ahead and create a machine learning model. And how we do this on the back end is we take in raw real-time data at scale, and we transform that data into a format that some very sophisticated machine learning models can use and then ultimately leverage to solve business problems. So this is my first startup, but I was fortunate enough to work at an early stage company in the past. So I was one of the first hires at a company called Uyala. I believe I was maybe the third or fourth hire, and I had the opportunity to work with some amazing founders there. Two of the three founders at Uyala have gone on to found new companies. And that experience was invaluable because I saw that company grow from maybe 9 or 10 folks all the way to 200 folks. But more importantly, I got to work with some amazing founders. Bismarck Lepe was the CEO of Uyala for many years and was really the visionary around the products and the strategy for that company in its early years. And I had the opportunity to work very closely with him before founding Vidora. And a lot of the positive lessons I like to think from the Uyala experience I've been able to actually take to the Vidora experience. So why we started Vidora? I'm an academic by training, and I've been studying machine learning as an undergrad, as a PhD student. I did a PhD looking at different types of machine learning technology, and very early on, I and many other people really understood the power of this technology to transform how we engage with the world, to transform virtually every industry in the world. And I think the mission for Vidora, what we are looking to enable, is we're looking to put this technology in the hands of folks that have absolutely no technical background. And so this underlying desire to see this technology in the hands of everyone, combined with this passion for this space, I think is what really has driven myself and my co-founders through several periods of the inevitable adversity that you face in a startup. So the most embarrassing moments, I think one of the more embarrassing moments I had recently was looking back at some of the old pitch decks, some of the first pitch decks we used to pitch Vidora to investors. And it is shocking what we had put in those early pitch decks, but also very satisfying to see how far we've come from those early pitch decks in terms of our ability to describe the market, in terms of our ability to describe the technology, in terms of our ability to describe the opportunity to investors. But that is certainly an embarrassing, it's embarrassing to think how early I was in my process of understanding how to convey these types of ideas to investors. I think one of the biggest obstacles we overcame was around our network. So it's funny, when I left Uyala, where I was an early employee, the founder and the CEO, Bismarck Lepe, sat me down and says, look, you have a tremendous technical team. What you're missing is a network in Silicon Valley of investors. And at the time I thought, well, I know a few investors. It won't be hard to actually raise money. And Bismarck looked me in the eyes and said, no, I know a lot of folks that have come from Google, Stanford, etc., that have had a lot of trouble getting that initial investment. And he was absolutely right. Our network was thin. My network in particular was thin. And we did have trouble raising money. We went a year without paying ourselves before we raised our initial round of funding. So I think that was a weakness we had, and I think there was a little bit of hubris on our end, and mine in particular, thinking that wouldn't be an issue, but we were able to overcome it. We overcame it by working tremendously hard, by building a product, by making sacrifices, in particular social sacrifices, but also monetary sacrifices, and ultimately we were able to raise that initial round of funding. So there's a lot of things people don't articulate very clearly about starting a company. I think what I can't underemphasize is getting great co-founders. I was fortunate. Vidora has 3 tremendous founders, at least the other 2 are tremendous founders. But the qualities of those founders is what's allowed us to continue as a company, is what's allowed us to grow as a company. And what are some of those qualities? One is absolute resilience. It's not an understatement to say that you get punched in the gut on a regular basis. And some of these are complete body blows. Some of these are knockout punches unless you have the right founding team. You need to be resilient, bounce back, and have positive energy. You absorb the blows, but you come back the next day and you work and you overcome them. There'll be times when you are running out of money. There'll be times when your largest customer is looking to leave you. There'll be times when your best employees leave. All of these require absolute resilience. Positive attitude, I think, is related to that. Having folks that see the bright side, that see ways to execute when it seems like there's very few options. And again, I was fortunate to have tremendous co-founders, but I've seen a lot of companies go under because they don't have the right co-founders. And I think that the second point I would say around things they don't tell you is that when we founded the company, I talked to a bunch of folks, and everyone has advice to give around what customers to go after, what product features to build, how to run the company. And there is a lot of great advice out there, but the best advice that I've gotten, and really the advice that I give the most credence to today, are folks that have founded companies in the past. Because really, unless you've been in that founder's seat, I think it's very hard to really understand where the founder is coming from and to really give great advice in terms of how to navigate certain challenges. So I would recommend biasing advice heavily towards folks that have actually done it before and actually built great companies in the past. In terms of where we are as a company, so we've built a tremendous team, we have a tremendous product, we have a tremendous market opportunity in front of us. So at this point, it's up to us to execute and execute really well in what's sure to be an everly increasingly competitive space. So best of luck to you on your entrepreneurial journey. I hope my advice was interesting. As someone once told me, my advice is worth as much as you paid for it. And so you've paid nothing, so that's how much it's worth. But best of luck to you.